please. This includes small children. Everybody needs to be fully seated on a parent's lap or on a bench. Thank you. Once again, next up is going to be New Orleans. Do keep in mind you will not be able to exit the train at New Orleans Square Station due to the construction. If you do need to get anywhere near New Orleans Square, Adventureland, Critter Country, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Adventureland, or Frontierland, you will have to use Toontown Depot.
Grand Circle Tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Critter Country. If you'll be leaving us here, please...
Once again, folks, we are coming into New Orleans Square. Please remain seated until the train makes a full and complete stop outside of the station. Once again, this is New Orleans Square. And again, you will not be able to disembark the train at this station. All passengers that want to visit New Orleans Square, Critter Country, Frontierland, Adventureland, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge will have to use Toontown Depot as the closing stop. That will be our next stop once we depart New Orleans Square. Once again, please remain seated, and we should be departing this station in just a moment.
The train is moving.
They're adding some steamy water to the train. The train runs on steam. Very. You tired?
You want it to keep here? Why do you keep here?
That's so we don't fall out.
Alrighty, folks, while we sit here and wait for that red light to turn green so we can move on forward to Toontown Depot, I'd just like to tell you some little bit of information about New Orleans Square. So the clicking that you hear kind of behind you, that is our Morse code machine. It is spelling out Walt Disney's opening speech for Disneyland that he gave live on television on ABC on July 17th, 1955. The Morse machine was invented by Samuel Morse, who developed the little dots and dashes that are able to be transcribed into alphabetical letters. Now, the building that you see behind you, that was actually used in the Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln show. During the Two Brothers sequence, talking about the trials and tribulations of the Civil War, one of the photos depicting a mourning family and a coffin were taken right here in front of that building. The next station that we go to, Toontown Depot, it's actually a exact replica, a cartoonish replica of this station, New Orleans Square. They even have a water tower. The buildings are exactly the same, and there is also luggage represented at both this station and at Toontown Depot. When the Disneyland Railroad opened, this station was known as Frontierland Station. During the opening years of Disneyland, people would have to ride the train all the way around the park. They could get on or off at Frontierland Station, which is this station, or they could go to Main Street USA, but everybody had to do a full round trip, as the only two stations active during the opening years of Disneyland were only Frontierland and Main Street USA.
There's a torture coffin. Wow.
Yeah, that's the speaker that transmits the sound or sends the sound back. Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Let's not start walking around here.
This house?
Want to sit down?
You earned an award.
Alrighty, folks, thank you for your patience. Now we're able to proceed on forward to Toontown Depot. Once again, that station is going to serve all of New Orleans Square, Critter Country, Adventureland, Frontierland, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, as well as Toontown and Fantasyland. Once again, please remain seated with hands, arms, legs, and feet inside the train at all times. Parents, please supervise your children, making sure that they are fully away from the opening in the middle of the car.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados y mantengan las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuiden a los pequeños. Gracias.
We're now entering the bayou, soon to be home to Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Princess Tiana swears there's magic out here, and wherever there's magic, there's bound to be some roses, blue skies, and sunshine guaranteed. Speaking of surprises, this place we're passing over is chock full of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and other beloved critters on fun-filled adventures where anything can happen.
We're going to make that happen. We should get off here. Or keep riding all the way around.
As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the Rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been riding these trails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams and the stories that went with them were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable, like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. This tunnel signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of ear, the ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station for Mickey's Toontown, the cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland.
Alrighty, folks, we're pulling into Toontown Depot. Please remain seated until the train comes to a full let go. Please stop inside of the station. Once again, this is Toontown Depot. This is going to be your stop for all things in Toontown, including our brand new attraction, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, as well as all of Fantasyland, including a small road with kind of lots of fun. If you do need to visit or for any of these surrounding areas, this is going to be the perfect stop to do so. Just head to Fantasyland and follow Big Thunder Trail, and you will be able to hit all lands and attractions in Frontierland, Adventureland, Critter Country, Norland Square, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Let's see if they're actually. I'll visit you next
Alrighty folks, at this time, need everybody fully seated please. This includes children. Everybody needs to be fully seated on a bench or on a lap. Thank you. Howdy folks, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. Please remain seated with hands on seat placed inside the train at all times. Parents, please supervise your children, making sure that they are fully away from the opening in the middle of the car. Our next stop is going to be Tomorrowland Station.
Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain.
And please watch your children. Thank you.
We're now steaming forward into the future to a land inspired by visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and, if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astroblasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
Alrighty folks, we're approaching Tomorrowland Station. Please remain seated until the train comes to a full length. Don't please stop inside of the station. Once again, this is Tomorrowland. This is going to be your stop for Space Mountain, Autopia, Star Tours Adventures Continue, the Disneyland Monorail, and more. Once again, please remain seated until we come to a full length. Please stop. Once again, please remain seated. The person standing in the middle car, please seat. Thank you. He always comes up and talks to people.
Is this good?
Howdy folks, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. Please remain seated with hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train at all times. Parents, please supervise your children, making sure that they are fully away from the opening in the middle of the car. Our next stop is going to be Main Street, but before we get there, we're going to take a quick trip through the Grand Canyon and then go back in time to the primeval world. You are free to take as many photos and videos as you would like, just as long as there is no flash photography, video lighting, or any light up toys or accessories visible. Thank you.
To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future to the breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado, tenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con flash.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, the land of the dinosaurs. We're now returning to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. I'd especially like to thank those of you who...
Alrighty folks, we're pulling into Main Street Station. Please remain seated until the train comes to a full and complete stop inside of the station. Once again, this is Main Street USA. As a reminder, we do not have the elevators or ramps at the station, only stairs. Small strollers and wheelchairs will need to be folded until you get to the very bottom of the station. This is going to be your stop for the park exit. Disney's California Adventure, the Downtown Disney District, all Disneyland Resort Hotels, Main Street Shopping and Dining, the Hopper House featuring great moments with Mr. Lincoln, and much more. Once again, please remain seated until we come to a full and complete stop.